Hey guys, for this video I'll be talking I'll be doing a demo on Cross-Site Request Forgery, also known as CSRF for short. Let's get started.
With CSRF, the main focus is not data theft, but to trick a user into executing state-changing requests on the malicious user's behalf. CSRF is an attack where a malicious user already knows the URLs to an API, or some of them. For this example and the actual demo, I'm going to be using a fake bank's API that deals with funds transfer. If you're wondering how would the malicious user even know the URLs to use, well, it's pretty easy if you know where to look. If you're accessing the page from a browser, all you need to do is open up the developer tools and explore. But that's a whole different topic for tutorial, and that's not what this video is about. A forged request is created by the hacker and sent as a spam email and sent over to the user. And the user is currently logged in, right? Anyway, the hacker would create a forged HTTP request. Now, in order for this to work, the hacker would need to actually have the user execute the script while the user is currently logged in to some banking website. This is how social engineering would come into play here. So a hacker would wrap this forged request in the form of, I don't know, like a spam email sent to the user. Yeah. So aside from spam emails, this also relies on things like vulnerable websites where they don't sanitize user inputs and it just displays them. That could also be another way to deliver these forged requests. These are all great tools that a hacker could use. And this is also the thing that makes the, CSRF difficult to track, because when it happens, from a server perspective, when it happens, on the server side, it looks like a normal, legitimate, authorized request that was sent by the user. The request is actually never sent by this person at all. It's just sent, like, it's just created, forwarded as an email. In this example, it's forwarded as an email, and then the user is actually the one that's executing it. Nowhere in there is the hacker doing anything directly to the doing anything with the request or sending the request itself. But yeah, and again, like I said, it doesn't have to be in the form of an email. It could be in the form of a vulnerable website that don't sanitize things, which could be used to deliver this forged HTTP request for the user to execute. Now for some bonus trivia knowledge. Twitter, back in the days, back in 2010, they were exploited to a CSRF vulnerability. This, fortunately, I guess for them, this is only used for trollish games. And eBay had also its share of CSRF attack back in 2013, where users were. This one is actually a little bit more dangerous. Users' contact information could actually be changed. And there are many other examples of CSRF attacks, but these are just a couple that I wanted to point out in this video. And again, I want to point out that this is just a demo. All the sites that I'll be using, or I'll be hacking or whatever, are not legit. They are just little stuff that I made on my own just for this purpose. I created two sites. First is the fake bank, and the other is a forum site where users can post stuff. This second site is where this is actually the vulnerable site that I'll be using for the whole demo itself. Okay, so that being said, let's get started with the demo. Okay, so to get started with the demo, this will be the fake bank. Or yeah, again, no real bank is used, or no real sites are used. I've created two just for this demo. So let's first log in, and I'm gonna log in. I already have a few credentials that I've made. this one. Okay, so right off the bat, you see that there are three. I've created three funds transfer methods here. One using the HTTP GET, another using the HTTP POST, and the last also uses HTTP POST but with a CSRF protection. So starting off will be the HTTP GET method. So as a note, you should not see anywhere in the web where the HTTP GET method is used to execute state changing requests. For multiple reasons, off the top of my head, I can think of two. GET requests have a URL limit of, I think, like 2048 characters, and also GET requests can be made with just faking an HTML image elements source attribute. So you can actually put the GET request in the source attribute, while with things like POST, that actually requires an AJAX call. Okay, so we start by both having $10,000 each, my wife and I, and the hacker. Say the hacker has an account in there, $100 in it. Let's see. Okay, let's just start with this. Let's say I'm going to transfer $25 to my wife here, and boom. So $25 should have been made. So as you can see, 25 dollars has been deducted from my account, and $25 has been transferred over to my wife's account. So now let's say a hacker found some, I don't know, a public some public site, a forum site that, you know, it's a popular one that a lot of people go to, and it's a forums thing. So, and there's a vulnerability within that forum site page, whatever. And let's say that the hacker is aware of say that bank that users use, that I was showing in the example, and already knows the URLs to the API. So let's say the hacker does this. So I'm gonna submit. Look at that, you can't even see the image, but you see that little hello friends there. Back to the user's perspective. Let's say, you know, I'm already logged into my bank, to the bank account, and say I'm curious as to what's going on with the forums, and I want to see what, you know, all the stuff that's being posted. So let's say I go there. Alright, so look real quick. Alright, so right now I have $9,975. The hacker only has $100, right? So at this point the hacker has already entered the malicious little script or whatever in the forum site, unbeknownst to me, the user. And as soon as I click this, watch the hacker's funds go from $100 to $125. Look at that. As soon as the page load, you see that I lost another 25, and the hacker has somehow gained 25. So now we're gonna look at the HTTP POST method. Go in here. So it looks basically the same as the HTTP GET. So to the user, you know, things like these will basically be transparent. They probably wouldn't really know or care about these kinds of stuff, as long as it does what they need it to do. So this time I'm gonna transfer to her $100. So watch mine go down to 9,850, while hers will go up to 10,125. Alright, there we go. Okay, so let's just say that the hacker at this point, you know, they'll try something similar to the last time with this. when this was inputted, how I said, all they need to do, because it's if the get method was available to transfer, all they would need to do is this URL. That's all they would need. But again, for the sake of the example, let's say that there wasn't an HTTP get method, and the only way to do this transfer of funds was through an HTTP post. This right here wouldn't actually work. This thing would fail. Okay, so I've gone ahead and reposted the that little script using the trying to exploit that get method, and let me refresh this page, and you'll notice it is there. That little script that I've had, it's there, but no matter how many times a user refreshes this page, my funds aren't going down and the hacker's funds are not going up. Nothing is actually being stolen, because again, I've turned off the get method, so I'm no longer accepting HTTP get methods as far as a state changing request goes in the app, in not this app, but in the bank app. So yeah, and you would think, hey, well, that solves it, right? No, not really. So this is one of those fallacies that a lot of people back in the days actually thought, just write everything using post or another HTTP method instead of get. That's actually not true, because that also can be exploited, which I'm about to show you. So this is one way how the HTTP post method for the banking API can be exploited. So here's a little script that I had pre-written up. It's a little bit longer, a little more involved than the last one that you saw. This one actually has a script tag in it, and there's some little JavaScript thing that does an AJAX call here. And if we submit it, so say I'm the hacker at this point, and I click submit, there it is. It says, hey, it says check out these cat videos, and say a user clicked on it, right? So check this out. So I had written in the script to transfer $100 each time any user clicks on this thing right here. So any user that's currently logged in to their banking app, right? So say I'm logged in, or say now I'm at this point I am back to my Sal account. I'm a regular user Sal, and I came in here and I'm like, oh look, there's a link that says check out these cat videos. So I'm gonna check it out, click on it, and the thing is, like, watch, I'm gonna click on it and watch the money transfer happens right over here. Oh look, I just lost $50 and the hacker gained 50. Like, and say, I don't know what the heck's going on, and I'm like, nothing's happening. I click on it a couple more times. Nothing's happening. Maybe this link is broken. Let's try one more time. Unbeknownst to me, I just lost what, $200? Yeah, I just lost about $200 right there. So that's pretty messed up, right? So now you're probably thinking, well, shoot. So get doesn't work, post doesn't work. What can be done to prevent this kind of stuff? So this part of the demo is actually a little bit of a freebie or an extra. This one actually shows you, or shows the developer, what he or she could do to prevent a legit way to actually prevent cross-site request forgery. So something that can be done is using a little something called a CSRF token, or anti-CSRF token. So I go back to the app, go to home. So this part right here, again, to the user, any page that uses, that does a transfer with an anti-CSRF token, it'll just be, to them, it'll just be transparent. They wouldn't know or care. But let's see here. So I'm gonna transfer money again to my wife. I'm gonna give her another 100. Transfer it. Okay. See, look, I lost 100, she gained 100. So you're thinking, well, what does an anti-CSRF token do? How does that thing even work? So I'm gonna open up the developer tool here real quick. Stand by. So I actually wrote my own anti-CSRF token generator thing. That it generates it on the server side and sends it with every HTTP response back to the user. Whenever this page is visited, a new anti-CSRF token is generated. So basically, how this works is this is like a little security key that's only known by the server that sent it and generated and sent it, and the user that's currently on this page. This cannot be known by anyone else, basically by the hacker. So basically, whenever a request is made by the user, so a user does a transfer, when the HTTP request is actually sent back to the server, this thing is sent along with it. So the server will then look at it and say, okay, I got a funds transfer request, and before I actually perform that transfer, I need to see if there's an anti-CSRF token. If it is there, the server will then go on and verify, is it something that I created myself? And then the server will say, yep, I created this, or no, I didn't create this. This looks like a hoax. I will not, I will not execute this funds transfer. Or if it was legit, then I will say, all right, I will continue and process this funds transfer. That's the gist of how a anti-CSRF token would work. Again, like I said, I created a little version of my own. It's pretty simple, and there are already a bunch of libraries out there, depending on what framework you're using. They already, like Spring, I'm pretty sure, I think, has a CSRF token generator. I'm pretty sure Express.js does as well. I think I actually looked. But again, like I said, I just figured I just wanted to make my own just for this little demo. Say I'm the user, Sal, and I came in here again. I'm back in the forums. This time around, the bank has secured their API a little more. So they've gotten rid of the HTTP GET request for state changing request, and they've also fortified their post request to now require an anti-CSRF token for each request made for funds transfer. So if I go in here, now this is the original. Now we know the GET one doesn't work anymore, but watch this. This thing also, I've actually gone in the banking API app, and I've commented out the regular post transfer, where it now requires an anti-CSRF token to be sent along with it. So whenever I click this now, check this out. This will no longer work. No transfer will no longer be made. Keep clicking on it, and nothing. There's nothing there, because it no longer exists. That API, or that URL to that resource no longer exists. So, say I'm the hacker and I'm pretty determined, and I found out that there's another URL that I can use for the funds transfer. I found out what it is. So the only thing different with this compared to the last one is this thing right here, transfer proper. So I found out what the other resource is that I need. I know what the URL is that I need, so I'm gonna put a little fake one in there. Let's not say cat videos this time. Let's say alright. Okay, so say now I'm the user. I'm visiting this page, and I'm Sal again, and unbeknownst to me, like, oh, like another one has been posted by the hacker, and you know, I'm an idiot. I don't know. I just click on whatever links, and I click on this. Watch this. It's actually not gonna happen. And as you can see, nothing goes through. The funds transfer doesn't happen. Nothing's changing. All because of that little anti-CSRF token that I was telling you guys about earlier. So yeah, that basically stops it from happening. So there are things nowadays that are built in to help I guess mitigate issues with cross-origin resource sharing, to prevent these kinds of things from coming up. But you know, regardless, you still should be using anti-CSRF tokens because it's not foolproof. And yeah, and also you saw that just using post alone over get HTTP request is not enough. It's definitely not enough. It's far from enough. So yeah, and that's pretty much it for the video. I hope you enjoyed the demo. Hope you learned something, and hopefully the next video I make, it might be a tutorial, or I don't know, we'll see what I come up with. There's a bunch of things to learn, but yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. Till next time, aloha.